Ready?
Starting your motorcycle ride in Red River, New Mexico, you'll find yourself in a charming mountain town nestled in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. The air is crisp and cool, with a hint of pine and the promise of an exhilarating ride ahead. Red River sits at about 8,650 feet above sea level, so you'll want to gear up with a good jacket and gloves to handle the chilly high-altitude start. You kick off on New Mexico 38 East, heading out of Red River with the hum of your engine echoing off the rugged peaks. The road is a smooth ribbon cutting through dense forests of ponderosa pine and aspen, still bare from winter, but hinting at the green to come. The first few miles are a gentle warm-up, sweeping curves and open stretches where you can feel the bike's power as you roll past snow-dusted hills. The scenery is wild and untouched, with the occasional deer or elk darting into the trees if you're lucky enough to catch a glimpse. About 10 miles in, you'll hit the junction with New Mexico 522 South. Here, the landscape opens up a bit, giving you wide views of the Moreno Valley stretching out below. The road dips and climbs, offering a mix of tight twists and long flowing bends that keep your senses sharp. You're descending slightly now, dropping toward Eagle Nest Lake. The water reflects the sky, and the surrounding peaks, like Wheeler Peak, the highest in New Mexico at over 13,000 feet. It's a perfect spot to pause if you're inclined, letting the engine idle while you take in the quiet beauty. From Eagle Nest, it's a quick 4-mile shot on US 64 east toward Angel Fire. The road straightens out some, but the elevation keeps things interesting, hovering around 8,400 feet. You'll pass scattered ranches and cabins, with the Sangre de Cristos rising sharply to your left. The air warms slightly as the sun climbs higher, and the wind rushing past carries the faint scent of sage. Rolling into Angel Fire, you'll spot the turnoff of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, just off New Mexico 434. It's a short detour, maybe a mile, but the shift in tone is immediate. The memorial sits on a hillside, its striking white chapel cutting a stark silhouette against the sky. You park your bike in the lot, the engine ticking as it cools, and step onto the grounds. The ride from Red River to the memorial is about 25 miles, taking roughly 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your pace and stops. It's a short but stunning route. Mountain curves, open vistas, and a destination that hits deeper than the road itself. You'll feel the freedom of the ride and the gravity of the endpoint in equal measure. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Angel Fire, New Mexico, is a striking and solemn tribute perched on a hillside overlooking the Moreno Valley. Located just off an M434, it's a place that blends natural beauty with profound historical weight, drawing visitors into a quiet reflection on the Vietnam War. At its heart is the chapel, a bold, modernist structure completed in 1971. Its design is minimalist yet arresting. Curved white walls sweep upward in a gentle arc, resembling a sail or a wing reaching toward the sky. The stucco exterior glows against the backdrop of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, and its clean lines stand out starkly amid the rugged landscape. Inside, the chapel is simple. A few pews, a small altar, and a stained glass window casting soft light. It's not a traditional religious space, but a sanctuary for contemplation, open to all. A perpetual flame burns outside, symbolizing eternal remembrance. The memorial grounds extend beyond the chapel to a sunken courtyard, bordered by low, curved walls. This amphitheater-like space feels intimate and enclosed, drawing your focus inward. Embedded in the walls are plaques engraved with names, dates, and messages honoring those who served. A flagpole flies the stars and stripes alongside the POWMIA flag, both rippling against the mountain breeze. The site sits at about 8,400 feet, so the air is thin and cool, adding to the stillness that settles over the place. Nearby, the visitor center deepens the experience. Housed in a modest adobe-style building, it's filled with artifacts, photographs, and letters from the war, personal stories that hit hard. One wall displays a timeline of the conflict, while another holds a collection of dog tags, each one a tangible link to a life. There's a small theater, too, showing a short film about the memorial's creation, sparked by David and Jean Westfall after their son, Marine Lieutenant David Westfall III, was killed in Vietnam in 1968. His death inspired this place. Originally built on family land before it became a state park in 2005. Outside, the grounds feature a restored Huey helicopter, an iconic yacht, one Iroquois perched on a concrete pad. Its blades are still, but evokes the chaos of Vietnam's battlefields, a grounded relic you can walk up to and touch. Scattered around are benches and pathways, inviting you to linger and take in the sweeping views of the valley below, framed by peaks like Wheeler and Baldy Mountain. The memorial's 5.6 acres feel both expansive and intimate, a balance of open space and focused design. It's not loud or grandiose. It's a place that whispers its purpose, letting the landscape and the stories it holds speak for themselves. Whether you're there for the history, the architecture, or just the quiet, it leaves an impression that lingers long after you've left. The David Westfall Veterans Foundation is named after Marine First Lieutenant Victor David Westfall III, who was killed in action on May 22, 1968, during a battle near Con Tien, South Vietnam, where 17 U.S. soldiers lost their lives. David, born in 1940 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico, had a distinguished military career, serving first as an enlisted man from 1959 to 1963, and later rejoining as an officer in 1967, ranking 11th out of 573 candidates in his officer training course. His death prompted his parents, Victor and Jean Westfall, to create the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, using his life insurance as the initial funding, engaging architect Ted Luna of Santa Fe to design the chapel, which became the memorial centerpiece. The memorial, originally known as the Vietnam Veterans National Memorial, was operated by the foundation until it was gifted to the state of New Mexico on November 10, 2005, becoming the Vietnam Veterans Memorial State Park. The foundation continues as a support group, ensuring the memorial's mission aligns with its purpose of honoring veterans. As we end this video, a special dedication for an American hero. To John Alton Nevels, a son of Brazoria, Texas, and a true American hero. Your life, though brief, burned bright with courage and duty. On February 18, 1968, in the tangled fields of Long Province, you stood tall with C Company, 39th Infantry, 9th Infantry Division, facing the chaos of war at just 19 years old. You were more than a soldier. You were a brother in arms, a friend, and a beacon of sacrifice for a nation that owes you an eternal debt. Rest easy, soldier. Your watch is done, but your light will never fade. With deepest gratitude and reverence, we dedicate this video to your memory.